So I have here Revit 2021 open, and I have the standard, like the MEP sample model that's open. So Kinship is an add-in, and it sits by default in the add-ins tab here. And the first part, like the first button is the search button. And you can open the search by clicking on search, or KL is a shortcut to bring up the search box. So I can start typing, and as soon as I start typing it, it starts returning results. So suppose I'm looking for a coffee table, then you can see that it's brought back a number of results related to coffee tables. So for each result, what I have is a thumbnail, which we automatically generate, so you can see. Yeah, and then the family name, the category, and the type name if there's only one type. If there's multiple types, what we'll do is we'll say how many types there are. Now, as I go over here, you'll see we have a right arrow or a little chevron. And so I can click on that and it will take me to more information. If I have that little chevron, it means there's more information. So here what it's done is it's split out that family, because the family had 4 types. It split that out by each type. And so you can see I have a separate thumbnail for each different type, whether it has a glass or a marble top, and the different sizes. And here we have like the name of the type and the same information. Now the top one here says load all families, and we will come back to that one. But let's go along here. So we still have another arrow. So we have more information. So let's click on that. And so that brings me here. And now this is kind of the detailed table, the detailed dialogue for this family. So it's, it's a furniture category. That's its name. That's the type name. This is the location. So this was in the library. This is the Revit version it's built for. It's Revit 2019, the unit system, and the file size. Then underneath that, we have all the parameters. And so the parameters, if it's just an ordinary family parameter, then it will look like this. If it's a standard Revit parameter, such as OmniClass, or, well, yeah, OmniClass, then it will have this R, Revit symbol. If it's a shared parameter, it has this little green sharing symbol. And then if it's an instance parameter, it has the word default. And so this is the default value. And then we have the value of the parameter. And if it's formula driven, then we have what the formula is. And so you can see all the family, all the details of the family. Now, at this point, I have not loaded this family into my model. I am just viewing the data. And if I want to load it, then that would be the next step. So I can load by hitting kind of return here. But let's go back here. Now, here I have the choice. So I can load all 4 of these types in one go, in which case it will just kind of load the family, put it into the model, and then I'll have to go and get the specific type that I want later. But if I know which type I want, then I can just pull that type down and it will put it on the end of my cursor and I can place it immediately in my model. So let's say I want to place this one, the D40 glass. So hit return, it upgrades it because this is 2021 and it's a 2019 model family. And then it just puts it on the end of my cursor and I can just place it in my model. So I do KL. So KL brings the search bar back up. And then I can use up arrow to go back through my search history. And so if I get search for coffee table again, now you see we got pretty much the same results as before, except now we have this one at the top here, which has this little blue icon. So the blue icon means that this family is either in my model or is in the project that I'm working on. And we'll talk about exactly what it means to be in the same project later. But that means it's like in my model. And so the idea is that it's actually quicker to find a family that's in the model you're working on by searching with Kinship than it is to kind of go through the project browser and go down through the tree. So underneath that we have some which have this green symbol. So the green symbol means it's in the library. And you can see, and if you recall, when we went and looked at where this one came from, it was from the library. And so these three are in the library. And then if it's not in the library, so this means it's in another model or it's in a collection, then it has no symbol. So here these have no symbol. And so I can go here and I can see, okay, this one, I think that's a collection. So it's in a collection. So from here, I can narrow down my search if I want to. So if I wanted to say, okay, I only want to see approved content from the library, then I can click on this button. So now you'll see that everything has this green symbol. So it's only returning results from my library that match this string. But I also have this down arrow, so I can click on this down arrow. So what this is doing is it shows me all the lists that exist in my system. And now if I know, okay, I'm really looking for a coffee table that is in the interiors list, then I can say, okay, interiors. And now the only results I'm seeing are from the interiors list. So I can narrow it down. And, and if you were, if you had longer lists, perhaps all the healthcare, it would be a way of saying, okay, I only want to see beds that are related to healthcare, that are in the healthcare list. And so that's narrowing down the results. Now here we have collections. So as I said, collections are another place where families can be stored within Kinship. And so I can click on collections. So now none of these have the symbol on. That's because I'm only looking in collections. So I'm not looking in the library anymore. And just like we had a down arrow that allowed you to narrow down to a specific collection, we have a down arrow that allows you to a specific list that allows you to narrow down to a specific collection. So, perhaps I know, no, it was this one, that the table I'm looking for is in the collection hospitality, the hospitality content collection. And so I can specify that exactly. And then it just gives me that one coffee table that I was looking for. Although, if there's more, then it will list all the coffee tables that are in that collection. And you can see that here you can still see which filter it's using. Okay, and then I can cancel those by just going back there and go back to all and remove those filters. So if we looked for something that was kind of more generic, like pendant, so there's a couple more ways of narrowing down your search results. So one thing is, as the results are returned, we generate this list of categories. So these are Revit categories that are part of the results that are returned. Now, suppose that I am looking for a pendant loudspeaker, right? So it's a communication device. So I can click on that. And so now I'm only going to get I'm only going to get communication devices. Now here I have more. So what this does is it lists the hosting options for the families that have been selected so far. And so I can see, it can either be kind of any or face-based. So suppose I am saying, okay, I want a face-based family. And so now I'm filtering on face-based and on communication devices. So I can go back to any, and that removes that filter. And then I can click on that on the communication devices, and that removes that filter. And now we have the list of all the families, of all the different categories. So that is kind of looking for component families. But as I said, Kinship also supports system families and groups and other types. So let's look for a wall. So we'll look for a NAUF wall. And so it's found a wall that's in the library. So let's click on that. And so it downloads that and puts it on the end of my cursor in exactly the same way. In exactly the same way that it did for component families. And so I can just immediately draw it and place it in the model. Now you may have noticed a lot. So I searched for NAUF wall, but it doesn't actually say NAUF here anywhere. And in fact, I could just say NAUF, right, and it would find this basic wall, but it doesn't actually say NAUF anywhere in the title. So why is it returning this? So if we go and have a look here in the parameters, we can see that the manufacturer is NAUF, and also the description has the word NAUF in it. So the point is that Kinship does not only index the kind of the family name and the type name, it also indexes all the parameters. And some of the parameters can be searched by default. Others you need to specify in a particular way. But like manufacturer and description are just included by default. And so if you search for them, we also index those and they will be part of the results.